Hello, welcome to another YouTube Live. You might notice that I have better lighting. Now I've bought a special light that can help with these videos. So hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for today's class. So here I am every Monday and I offer a few simple, effective tips, tools, techniques, things I've picked up along the next of the last 10 years and all the classes and all the trainings and all the workshops and one-on-one sessions that I've done over the last 10 years. And I'll be sharing these continuing over the next few weeks as well and months with these YouTube lives as well. So I started this year with the intention to do these YouTube lives, and that was in January. And here we are already coming up to May. Can you believe it? So already that's like 5 months worth of classes that I've been giving every week. So if you haven't checked out the other ones, you can go back and check those ones out. There are many, many different topics. And I love listening to the requests of listeners and viewers as well. People who email me, get in contact, and they suggest topics. And today's topic is one of those. Last week's topic was one of those as well. So if you have questions, if you have things that you're going through or a loved one's going through and you think, oh, okay, like how do we manage this? How do we navigate this? Like what can help? Then of course I don't have all the answers, though I do have a lot of experience working with individuals and working with groups and working with the mind and emotions and all of that good stuff. So today's topic is all about confidence, boosting confidence, and I'll be talking a little bit about the difference between confidence, self-esteem, and some simple, effective ways that we can really boost our confidence. And this is the thing, like confidence doesn't need to be this like, hey, look at me, like shouting energy. If that's not you authentically, then it's not about trying to put on a persona or trying to be like other people. No, it's about really reconnecting to who you truly are and living life authentically according to you and your energy and your personality and what works for you. So like coming back to the heart, coming back to the core of things and bringing in a few little extra NLP tips and tools that can help boost confidence. Now, before I go into this, I want to talk about something that perhaps some of you may have heard before, whether that's from my workshops or classes or these YouTube lives, or maybe you haven't heard this before, or you've like read it somewhere, maybe it's like a vague idea, like the whole concept of the mind and body, the mind-body connection. Like you might have heard about that in the wellness field, like, oh, the mind and body are connected. Now, what does this really mean? Often that phrase is thrown around, and the mind-body connection is really, really powerful. This is something that we talk about in NLP and how much influence the mind has on the body. Now, we have this communication model in NLP. We have this communication model, and it talks about how everything that we receive through our senses, like what we see, what we hear, what we feel, all of that, everything that comes through our senses, our mind needs to organize that at some level. Like it needs to make sense of it. Now, I like to see our mind as a post office. It's sorting out all these letters, all this information that's coming in, and it's sorting it all out. And it might get rid of some, if anything doesn't really match the current belief system and the values of that person. So it might be like, okay, I'm going to delete that. I'm not going to pay attention to that. Or it might distort things or generalize things. We have these filters, and everything's filtered according to our beliefs, what we believe in, what belief system we have, our blueprint, as we call it. So each and every person has their blueprint according to how they've been brought up, where they've been brought up, the culture, the family situation, like friends, loved ones, experiences, all these different things, especially in the first 7 years of life. And everyone has different experiences. And in these experiences, we're like, when we're young, we're like a sponge. We absorb everything. Like, we're like, oh, yes, how do people do that? Like, I'm going to observe and learn. Maybe as a child, we might not be consciously aware of that, but that's how children learn to walk, learn to talk, learn to do all these things. They're literally like sponges. I mean, you might have noticed with, maybe you have a child, maybe you have a nephew or a niece, or you know some young children. And if a word is said, then you might hear them repeating that word later on. This is why, like, sometimes you have to be mindful about swearing in front of kids, because they will pick up on it. They're like sponges. So in these early years, we absorb everything, and we're like sponges that we're like, okay, if we continuously hear a thought or a belief within the family or at school that the world is like this, or you're like that, or other people are like this, or money's like this, or blah blah blah, fill in the blank, most likely we might adopt that and take that on as if it's our own belief. Now, we can later on let that go with NLP, with hypnosis, with many other modalities, kinesiology, tapping. There are so many different things. Like, everyone's different. Like, some modalities work really well for some people and they really resonate with them, and then other people might prefer something else. So it's about finding what works for you. And we can let go of these beliefs. We can let go of these beliefs. And it's not about getting rid of every single belief. It's about really just noticing what's useful, what's not, what is helpful for me to continue believing in life in order to experience the life that I want to experience, and what's not. So all these beliefs are the blueprint according to what our experience is filtered through. So as I was saying, like, we receive so much information through our senses, and that's all filtered according to our beliefs and our values and all the other unconscious filters. There are more, but I won't go into detail in all of those. So just to keep it simple, it's like a post office and it sorts everything out. Now, if we have the belief, now this communication model, like, usually traditionally is just set up in like a one-way format. Though when I was teaching it, I put it in a wheel format because I found that that was the most helpful for me and also for my students to really understand and to really notice that the mind-body is so connected. So when we are thinking or believing a particular belief, then that has a knock-on effect on how we feel. And how we feel has a knock-on effect on our physiology. Physiology impacts our behavior, and so on. Now, it's a wheel format because if we change our behavior, if we change our body posture, if we do something to change our emotional state, that then has a knock-on effect on our thoughts and our beliefs. So everything's connected. Everything's connected. You can have two people going to the same event or having the same experience, but experiencing it differently because it's according to their beliefs, according to how they see things, how they see the world. It's like a pair of glasses. Like, everyone has a different pair of glasses to look through. So with the mind-body connection, there are many different ways that we can interrupt that we can, if we're noticing that there's this state of not feeling confident and feeling a bit like not really ourselves, like, we can find a way to interrupt that wheel, that cycle of not feeling confident, and enter that and create a different story, create a different experience. Now, there are many different ways that we can do this, and I'm going to share some useful quick tips with you today. So one of them, super easy, simple one, body posture. Body posture. Paying attention to how you are holding your body. So if you want to feel more confident and you're currently slouching and your shoulders are hunched over and you're like closing in on yourself, that's not going to help. There have been studies on this. There are TED Talks on this. There are researchers like researching this and developing like huge bodies of information about this, that when we move our body, when we adopt a body posture that opens our chest, like opens everything up, then we feel more confident. What is the thing that everyone does when they win a race? Like virtually every single person on this planet, no matter what language they speak, what country they're from, if you watch the Olympics, the winners, what do? Arms up, head up, and they're celebrating. Like this is a natural human reaction for confidence, for boosting confidence, for celebrating, like, yes, I've achieved something. And there have been studies where people have done this prior to interviews. They've done this prior to going on a date, prior to, like, you name it, prior to like a certain event where perhaps they would have felt nervous beforehand or felt that they were lacking in confidence. And just by doing that, helped them immensely. I've done this as well. It's really helped. Like just a few seconds just to open everything up, take a few deep breaths, and just allow yourself to be in that position and notice what changes. Notice how you start to feel differently. And even if at first you're like, I'm not sure if anything's changed, but at least you're taking a moment to pause, take a few deep breaths, and hold yourself in an upright position, which is helpful and beneficial for well-being. So why not try it? Try it, notice what changes, and play around with it. Like you can gauge it. So we do this a lot in NLP. We really take a moment to notice beforehand, like, how do I feel out of 10 now? And then we do whatever that technique is. And then afterwards, how do I feel out of 10 now? Like, what's different? What's changed? So you can play around with that. Like, first, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, however you feel right now, like out of 10, gauge, like, how confident do I feel right now out of 10? And then, if it's okay to do so, do that body posture. Take a few deep breaths in and out and really feel that, like as if you're celebrating something right now. And then out of 10, once again, how do you feel right now? So allow yourself some time. Obviously, I went through that quickly, but allow yourself some time, like a good 30 seconds or so to really hold that posture. And that can really help. So that's like a quick tip. If you want to learn more about that, you can research Amy Cuddy. Like she did a lot about body posture. There are many other people talking about body posture. So body posture has a direct impact on how we feel, especially the confidence. What's linked with body posture is also movement. So moving the body in some way, moving the body. So whether that's dancing, whether that's running, whether that's playing volleyball, whether that's playing football, whether that's walking, whatever, like moving the body in some way, because often when we are like feeling like we're lacking in confidence, that's when we're stuck up in the mind and we're listening to the stories of them. So if we want to change that, one of the quickest ways, back to the breath, back to the body, get embodied, in the body, embodied. So there are 3 keys to embodiment: breath, movement, sound. Come back to the breath, move your body, sound. Allow yourself to release any stresses and worries. So moving the body in some way to allow yourself to come back to the body. Let go of all the chitter chatter up here, all of the noise of the mind, come back into the body. So try that, try that. So we got body posture, what's the link with that? Also moving the body, like doing some movement. And then I also talked about the thoughts and the beliefs. The thoughts and the beliefs are super important. For example, if we are saying to ourselves, like, I'm rubbish, I'm not very good, no one likes me, this is terrible, I can't do it, or I'm not good enough, or blah, blah, blah. How are we going to feel? Not very good, right? Not very good. So if we were starting to change this story, then our emotions will change, our physiology will change, our body posture, all of that will start shifting. If we start telling ourselves empowering stories, start telling ourselves empowering thoughts and beliefs. I can do it. I am good enough. Fill in the blank, continue. Like whatever empowering stories help you to feel good about yourself. Now, if you don't believe these, because this is linked with affirmations, and this is the thing, like sometimes affirmations, they can be wonderful, and also it can take a while with affirmations. I mean, this is often the missing key. I did a whole podcast episode about this, the secret to making affirmations work. And often people forget that there might be a belief, a limiting belief, like in contradiction to that affirmations. So if we're repeating this affirmation, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm this, I'm that, but then nothing's changing, then maybe there's a belief that's in conflict with that, that it makes sense to look at that limiting belief first, change that, and then the affirmations, boom, they're like the added boost on top, and they can help move things even quicker. So it's important to notice, like, what are we thinking? What are we believing about ourselves? Like our capabilities, about ourselves generally, all of that. Like, what are we thinking and believing? Are there any empowering thoughts there? Empowering thoughts, like thoughts and beliefs that make you feel good about yourself and help you to feel confident. Or are they all disempowering? And if they're disempowering, then perhaps it's time to change the story. And there are many different ways that we can do this through NLP, through hypnosis, kinesiology, you name it, the list goes on. The first step is the awareness. The awareness, just noticing what's there. And then letting go of any belief, if there is a limiting belief there. This is the thing, we don't have to let go of limiting beliefs, but if there is a belief that's repeating and repeating and it's not helpful and it's making us feel not very good, then that might be a good idea to look at it. If you want some extra help with that, there is another podcast episode on beliefs, and I will put the link, it's in the description, so you can just click on the link and then you can watch that bite-sized episode. It's a very short podcast episode that I like to keep the podcast episodes short and sweet, because just the easy tips that you can take away with you and doesn't take hours because we're all got lots going on in our lives. So that's a podcast that can help in terms of letting go of beliefs. And then you can just notice, okay, like what empowering statements can I say to myself that are stated in the I am, and also present tense, and like positive, like I am this, like rather than I don't want to be like lacking in confidence, or I don't want to feel low in confidence. Like that's not empowering statement. I am confident. With every breath I take, I feel more and more confident. This is the one of the tricks that can be really useful, that often in the very beginning when there's this I am confident, and if there's been a long period of time of not feeling that up until that point, then there can be a little bit of resistance in the beginning. So to ease ourselves into that can be really useful with every time I take a breath, or every time I breathe, then fill in the blank. So it's like you're inviting your mind to consider that it's this ongoing, increasing thing, and that you can ease yourself into that. So every time I take a inhale and exhale, I feel more and more confident. So there's so much more, obviously, with NLP and with mindset, and the work that I've done with creating change and exploring the emotions and all of that. Though I'm just giving you a few like really, really concrete tips and tools that you can take away with you and practice, and let me know how it goes. You can just pop it in the comments section and just let me know what you've noticed as you've practiced these and just tried a few things out. Another quick thing is, so obviously like shifting our emotional state. So if there's that wheel, so we got the thoughts, we got the physiology, the actions, like the behavior, and we have the emotions as well. So if we make a change on the emotional level, then that could mean, for example, playing some music that helps us to feel confident, helps to boost our energy and make us feel like, yeah, I can do it. For each person's different. Like there's so many different like songs out there and pieces of music in different styles. Some people love hip hop, some people love trance, some people love tribal, some people love like pop, some people like, there's a mix of everything out there. So find a song that works for you, that makes you feel uplifted, that even better, if it reminds you of a time that you felt confident, then that will help you to invoke that feeling of confidence. Now, obviously, there's a difference between, I mean, I've been talking about confidence in general, though there is a difference between confidence and self esteem. So, confidence usually, I mean, in a general way, people just talk about it. Yeah, I feel confident in myself, and they just talk about it in general terms, as I have up until now. Though there is actually a difference. So, usually, when we're getting specific about things, like confidence is how we feel in ourselves and our ability to do something, our skills and capability with specific things and certain situations. Self esteem is how we feel about ourselves in general, like, and more about ourselves, like who we are and our self worth and our value. And they're very closely linked. They're very closely linked. So, for example, someone can feel confident. So, a personal example. So, I'm very confident in my skills and capabilities of cooking plant based food. I'm a trained teacher at a cooking school for that, and I have a whole lifetime of experience, like with my mother having a cooking school in that, and I feel very confident in that. Though, if someone was to tell me, okay, do you feel confident in cooking a steak? I have no idea. That's not my forte, so I wouldn't feel confident in that. Though I would feel confident in cooking vegan plant-based dishes. and self-worth and esteem that's more about how we feel about ourselves. So sometimes when people say, I want to feel more confident, what they really mean is that they want to feel a greater sense of self-esteem. They want to feel better about themselves. Because when they feel better about themselves, they will actually go into those situations and be able to enjoy those without all the added anxiety and social anxiety or worries or doubts or fears. So all these tools and techniques, they're not to try to mask over any current feelings or emotions or beliefs that we might currently have about ourselves and our skills and capabilities. It's not about bypassing and just wanting to like, I'll just pile these techniques on top and then I'll like feel confident and just like boost myself and then I'll feel confident. It's not about that. It's about using these little things and bring this awareness to the mind-body connection and our thoughts and our movement and our body posture and all these things that can help and contribute, whilst we also acknowledge and take time to honor, like, who am I really? Like, who am I really? Like, who's within? Who am I at the deepest core? And this is much of what I cover on creating change. And we really come back to the very core of things, like who we are, the life that's within us. And we connect with that, we dance that, we paint that, we talk about that, we share that with other people, with the group. And when we connect to ourselves at that level, everything else ceases to be an issue. It's like, wow, like we wake up to the magic of who we are. And then all those other fears and doubts that were on a more of a surface personality, superficial level, don't seem to be such an issue anymore. It's almost like we step into this calm confidence rather than trying to like boost ourselves and be like I'm just thinking of Tony Robbins. I mean, no judgment. He's helped so many people, and I know many people that have really been helped by his classes and workshops, and he uses NLP, even though he doesn't say it's NLP, but what he does is NLP. And on one level, that can be really great to boost confidence in that way, but then sometimes it doesn't need to be so aggressive or forced, which sometimes it can be in that way. It can be more of a calmer, softer, quieter confidence as we just step into who we truly are. It's like awakening to, there I am. There I am. And whatever happens, I'm showing up. Whatever happens, at least I tried. Whatever happens, I can learn from it. Yeah. So obviously there's so much more, but try these things out. Like move your body, notice the body posture that you're in, see if you can open up and change that, and notice what changes as you do that, how it impacts your health and well-being. Notice the thoughts, the beliefs. Find a song that lights you up, that fills you with joy, that helps you to remember the magic of who you are. And if you are struggling to connect with that and you really want to connect with that even further and you want some further support with that, I have a workshop coming up in Vilanova i Geltrú, which is a short train journey from Barcelona. And that's on Saturday the 13th. And it's a 3-hour workshop, in-depth workshop. And we're going to really dive into this in much more depth and have a lot of fun with this. So this will be in the morning, starting at 11, finish at 2. There'll be like a short little break as well. There'll be a few like snacks there. that I will have. And it will be a wonderful way as a group that we can come together and talk about all these topics and notice, like, how can we boost our confidence? How can we let go of anxiety? How can we like navigate emotions that we might find challenging? How can we find hidden limiting beliefs? How can we like rewrite the story and awaken to the magic of who we are, and like come away feeling amazing? Because so many people come away from these workshops and they comment on like how good they feel afterwards, and like how like alive that they feel, and how much love that they feel for themselves and others, and everyone's just like smiling and glowing. And I feel it too, like when I teach, like I just feel so much energy just coming through, and it's really powerful. So yeah, if you want to explore that further, May the 13th, if you can't join then, or you're not based near Barcelona, then do join the newsletter. I do online stuff as well. There's the podcast, YouTube lives every week, and so many more things, plus one-on-one sessions as well. So I literally, there's many things out there. So there's plenty more to come. So thank you so much for watching, and try those tips out. Let me know how it goes. You can post a comment in the comment section. And I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to seeing you on May the 13th if you're joining us. The spaces, they do need to be reserved like prior to attending. So if you want to come, then do reserve your place, because there are art materials included with that. And just to let you know, no experience is necessary for dance or creative arts with this workshop. Not necessary. This is for all levels, complete beginners or people who love to dance and paint and who want to learn about how I blend NLP with creative arts and dance. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back here next week, same time, 7 p.m. European time, so Barcelona time. So wherever that is, wherever you are in the world, with another topic. Have a wonderful week. Much love.